Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We finally are posting our pour video, but there was some last minute preparations and stacking to get ready for it. Honestly, it was one of the busiest few days of my life. We were working until 10 p.m. on some of these days, just scrambling to get ready because I scheduled the pump truck, which was really the thing I didn't want to reschedule. You can see here we're finally finishing up getting over all the windows. The long cuts on the ICF take a while because it's like 4 cuts, but then that final layer goes really fast, and you can't really see all the reinforcement that goes like above the windows and openings. This is a cool little clip here because Atticus is bending all of my stirrups, and they're 3/8 and they're kind of little hooks, and it was a hot day and he got all of those suckers bent for me. There's 6 on every window, and bending rebar isn't easy, and he got it in his head that he was going to do it, and he was determined, and he did it. It was cool. Graham did a lot of the cutting on the other parts and bending because it was 1/2 inch rebar, and Atticus had to like stand on the bender for it to work. So in this little section it shows Tom, my stepdad, came out and helped me for a couple days. It shows him bracing it in the windows while I am working on getting the hangers up. They're embedded in the concrete, and that block underneath them is just to hold the hangers in place during the concrete pour. So they go almost all the way to the back of the concrete, and it's like a saddle, and it has holes in it so the concrete pours through it. They were a little expensive. I think I would have gone with just the Nudura brand hanger if I would have realized what the cost difference, and I should have checked into that, but I didn't. And so we're just finishing up those things and putting some perimeter bracing on the outside and getting the steel ready, and then we were almost ready for a pour. And I planned it so that in between lifts we would do some work to finish prepping, because I actually wasn't quite all the way ready. One of the things I wasn't quite ready for was this strapping that the OSB you can see on the outside on that common seam. I didn't have that put up all the way. This recording is from later in the day, but in between lifts. A lift is when you do a sort of a lap on the house, because you don't go all the way from the bottom to the top. When you are doing a lap, ideally, they tell us with the Nudura block that you go up about 3 feet on a lift, and then you let it set up a little bit before you keep going higher. And we couldn't see down into the block all the way down that far, so I accidentally went a little too high. Thankfully, we didn't have any blowouts. It was actually a really awesome day in this, for that fact that we didn't have any of those problems. But while we were waiting for a truck or waiting for a lift, we just finished up the bracing. I had enough help that I knew that we could accomplish that. There on that common seam, you can see it too. That OSB also on the garage door, we put that side bracing on. I should have done a little more bracing on the garage door because it bulged in just a little bit. Not enough that it's going to cause me problems in the future, but my perfectionist side really should have wanted to have better bracing on there. Brandon is up there with the pencil vibrator, but because the pencil doesn't fit all the way down to the wall, I actually used some hose clamps, and I clamped a piece of pipe with a end on there, and so he's vibrating the wall through the rebar. So he's putting it on the rebar and vibrating, and that's consolidating the concrete for me. I wish I would have taken pictures, but the next day when I came back, I could see that there was so much pressure in the wall that it had pushed on some of the bottom blocks just a little bit, like less than a quarter, probably an eighth. So there's tremendous pressure in there, and those blocks stood up really well. It helps that I don't have a lot of openings. Having openings and big windows sort of requires better bracing, or if you're gonna mess with any of the blocks at all. It was tricky to pour with the rebar in the way but we need that connection because it's not a, what's it called? It's a cold joint between this floor and the next floor, and so I need that rebar sticking up. And there's a lot of, I understand there's a lot of video here. I tried to speed it all up, but you can, right here you can see Isaac is turning on the vibrator for Brandon up on top, and we're just doing laps. And then this is close to the end, so Tom is sort of making sure all the concrete's in the right place. He's there on the left, and it was a pretty good crew. You wouldn't know that we had cleaned up a lot by the way that things look. But it was a good day. We finished about 1 p.m. and I was just so tanked from all the prep to get to this point that I went home and rested for the rest of the day. But it worked out really well. She needs some water.
We did give her some.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please put those down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, let me know. Obviously I don't have a lot of people watching, so I will probably be able to answer your question if you type something in the bottom. So thanks again.